We all the way live. We all the way live.
Go Bucs, go Bucs. Go Bucs, go Bucs. Go Bucs, go Bucs. Go Bucs, go Bucs. First and goal, gotta tough it out. Get in the end zone and call a hot route. O-line to beat, right down the street. You have Humphreys run right underneath. You know it's Bucs ball, we got the hardest D. Bring the pressure to the QB. You know it's routine, we got hard grease. Welcome to Tampa, welcome to Germany. Go Bucs, go Bucs. Reppin' for my team. Go Bucs, go Bucs. You know we want the ring. Go Bucs, go Bucs. Welcome to the Bay. Go Bucs, go Bucs. Tune in with Buccaneer Blake. Bucs back, we can run and talk. Mike Evans looking like Randy Moss. And Davis making play after play. On the defense, you can't stop Levante. On my boy McCoy, who you can't avoid. At the Raymond James, you about to feel the pain. If you a Bucs fan, make a lot of noise. If you a Bucs fan, make a lot of noise. Go Bucs.
You tuning in with Buccaneer Blake, baby. You already know. Yep, what's going on, everybody? Hope y'all enjoy that little intro. You know how we do out here. What's going on, Steve? Johnny Boy, what up, little? What's going on? Got my little mic stand in. People send me some gear so I can get myself better. But let's get the preliminaries. Let me reintroduce myself. My name is Blake. B to the A-K-E. It don't work out that way, but anyway. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Bucnblake Sports with your host, the none other Mr. Buccaneer Blake himself. It's a rainy day out here in Tampa Bay, Dunedin area, pouring, raining. Went to the dentist's office, got home from work. Pretty sleepy still. Probably find me some coffee or something later on to wake up, but I can't do it unless I talk to you guys first and give y'all the scoop. I know Peter's covered a lot. He had brought a lot of passion and stuff earlier this week going on with the Buccaneers and stuff like that. And I'm going to touch on some of that too. But we're playing the Cowboys, and I hate the Cowboys. So this is pretty much a Super Bowl for me if we beat the Cowboys and play spoiler. And make Stephen A happy. But let's get these preliminaries out the way. First and foremost, welcome to Bucnblake Sports. Coming live out of Dunedin, Florida. Doing my thing. Sweet Pete's down there in Clearwater. Why don't you guys go say it loud and where you're from, what sections you sit in, what state you're in, or what you repping. Like I said, I'm Dunedin out here outside of Tampa. So let's go into Bucs Report sponsors, because without these guys, a lot of these things wouldn't happen. Make sure you guys check out the Rat Pat Sports Show, Rich Kid Clothing Line, and Woodham Insurance. All information is available on the BucsReport.com website. And if you get with any of us, we can get you the contact info, anything you need. So please don't be shy to ask. My sponsors, and they're also Bucs Report sponsors too. Lid, St. Pete, Tyrone Square Mall, Christopher Shaw, 727-381-4820. Receive 10% off your first purchase when you mention Bucs Report or Buccaneer Blake, either or. You don't necessarily have to drive to St. Pete to get these items. If you call him and ask for Christopher Shaw, he will take care of you, mail it to you, or whatever you need to do. The giveaways and stuff that come from my website all come from this location. So it's cool that he takes care of us like that. And he's a Buccaneer fan himself. Most importantly, please support my other fellow members. There's so many of us, and we keep on going on. And I think it's going to be cool when everybody gets rolling. I got another project going on myself I'm going to bring up later. But let's roll. Please support my fellow Bucs Report shows. Sundays, you got Midnight Madness with Bill Siebert. You got Tuesday, Tampa Tony and the Ramblin' Rossi Posse on Tony's Take, 8 to 8:30 Tuesday nights. BritBucs coming out of New England, Britain, 1 to 1:30. He's always bringing the fire. Thursday, the Red Flag Podcast at midnight with Phillip Mac. That's pretty cool show. Those guys, bring their own little style to Bucs Report. And then, of course, you have me on Thursday. Between the weeks pretty much alternate because of my work schedule. And Phil and Mac are Thursday at midnight. So, yeah, they're on Thursday, too. Saturdays, you got Peter Blake in the Sports Web 3 to 6. And he has the day after show at 9 p.m. So whatever day, the day after the game is when he does his report. Saturdays, you got I already said that, 36 Sports Web and the day after show at 9 p.m. I got some upcoming shows, possibly with Bucs Report. You got Mike Clayton. Has been bringing a lot of his fire, being an ex-Bucs player, and some of the negativity with fans and the things that they're saying about current players and stuff like that. So he's got a show coming up called Listen Up. Pay attention to the website or mine or whatever about his upcoming shows. His main attraction is Twitter Gangsters. So if you guys got things to say, Michael will be more than happy to have you live on the show. And you can say to him personally what you feel about what he thinks of the situation that you talk about or whatever the case may be. Don't be shy. He's there for you, and the phone is always open. Also, we've got something real cool coming along. I'll probably have them on, and they'll probably talk about it sometime when we finally get it finished and flourished and ready to rock and roll with a logo and a slingo and stuff. So stuff like that. It's going to be the first all-female football broadcast, and they're going to talk about sports, just female version, and what they're going to talk about for females. So pay attention to that, and it's going to be something cool. I think it's never been done before, and they're real excited, and they're going to bring their own fire and passion to it. It's going to be that session is going to be called "For Ladies in the Football." So if you females are out there and think it's cool, so be dope. Let me get this out the way. This is fair use. Fair use. All copyrighted material without permission of anybody that I've used the film for. I do not make money off of it. It's solely purpose. The purpose is to criticism, parody, news reporting, research, scholarship, and teaching. And as always, make sure to subscribe to my website at www.bucnblakesports.com. You can find me on Bucs Report, but that's my website. And if you sign up for the website, you win a free chance to win stuff every month just for signing up to the website, no cost. Always make sure to donate. All donations go to any charitable organization here in the Tampa Bay area. Last year we did, this year we did Dream Forever Foundation, raised $500 and gave that out to them. So that's what the stuff we're doing here at Bucs Report. Now, without further ado, let's get to the main attraction. Bucs versus Ravens. What did we learn? Also, what was the breaking point in that game? What do you guys think? As I scroll through these comments. Well, I think what we learned is we're bad at stopping the run when we need to stop the run. Partially because, we're missing Quan would help. And we've always struggled against RPO, option style offense. I think we stopped it pretty good at some point in time in the game, but as the game goes on, excuse me, you guys worked all night. As the game goes on, it wears you down, and that's the kind of importance of a run game, what we lack here in Tampa Bay, and I think it's an important part. I think it's an important part in the NFL game. You can't just be one-dimensional in passing. I mean, that's cute and all, but when all you have to do is game plan for that, it's a little easier than stopping somebody from grounding and pounding the ball on you. What is it? What Steve says, Winston breaking point is James throwing into triple coverage 4 different times. I don't know about all that. If you're talking about the one deep ball, Actually, Winston could have gotten that ball. Weddle kind of cut him off to it, and he kind of pulled up from it. That's normally a ball Mike Evans brings down, but given the precipitation that was happening in that game, I think it changed changed him up a little bit in the way he approaches things. And it happened for a lot of them with that rain. I'm not familiar playing, and it's all like that. Even though we did kind of play in a wet environment last week against the Saints, but I don't, it should have been a better game plan in the pouring down rain. The pass he threw to Chris Godwin, if Chris Godwin catches that, I posted on my page, if Chris Godwin catches that early pass, the safety fell. So Chris Godwin basically walks in the end zone because the safety that was covering him fell down. So, that was a missed opportunity with a drop pass. Steven says need to get Brake more involved in certain situations. That's all on Dirk Cutter. Like a lot of you guys want to get mad at Jameis for the passes and stuff you're going. You got to remember Dirk Cutter's calling these plays. You only can go with what they got. So a lot of time he takes the sacks because the guys aren't getting open. It's just, Cutter's not good at situational play calling. And that's pretty much the gist of it. Dean says the blocked kick breaking point. Oh, you mean the slipping through his hands and flying back? I'm just going through some of these. Bucs Nation currently in Pittsburgh, PA. Robert Horton out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, holding down Texas. Just demolished the Cowboys. I second with that. Yeah, I agree. I know Brate's happy. A little bit. Winston went back to quarterback. And OJ Howard go down. That's not something you really want to get excited about. Your player going down so you can get more playing opportunities. But Cutter kind of trips me out when you want these two tight ends and you don't find a way to use both of them really in your vertical offense. And I said this before and I said it a million times, but we'll get into it later on. Juan, I now seriously everyone in Tampa. He's talking about get down the lids. Yes, sir. Get yourself down there. Malcolm call plays down from the booth. Some like overdraft spends money on high pick. I agree. Godwin still needs to stop dropping key passes. Yeah, 19 run plays in the rain. That's bad. As I was saying with Juan, and now we're playing for pride and a lot of changes coming, but I'm an admirer of Jason Light. He has hit on a lot of talent, a few busts, but nobody's perfect. You think he might be around next season? I do. I don't think it's enough to get rid of him. Everybody's whining and complaining, about, Vita Vea pick. Like I said, just got to let it go. It's gone. You guys, as bad as you guys complained about Mike Smith, did you honestly think that we would have used Derwin James the same way as the Chargers are using him? And I'll answer that question. The answer is no. We've had one already. He's called Mark Barron. He's one of the best DBs down in the box making tackles, basically playing linebacker just like him and covering tight ends, doing the same exact thing that Derwin James is doing, but he's doing it for the Rams. And we did not use him correctly. We traded him away for a late round pick. So we would have never drafted Derwin James with Mike Smith. Or Derwin James would have never fit here because we don't play to that strength. We'd have asked Derwin James to play deep over the top as an over-top safety, which that's not what scheme we run here. So we needed the defensive lineman better than we did a safety. I know everybody keeps saying DBs, but the safeties aren't really getting beat that much. They're catching a lot of passes right behind the linebackers because they're not getting good depth and not making good reads. And, the corners are very young, and we have a lot of injuries there. Vernon Hargrave's going down, played the defense a lot. And he was playing really well this whole offseason. I was really looking forward to Vernon doing something. But back on topic, in the Ravens game, the breaking point was Lamar Jackson was getting those late first downs because we couldn't stop him, and then the running game kept going. It's just over time, it just beat you down. Levante played out of his mind. He did everything that he can do, forcing turnovers and collecting turnovers. It's just a nasty game, and the Ravens played Buccaneer football the way we want to be like, grind it out. And, Winston can do enough to get us a win. If you can make him a game manager, he doesn't necessarily have to be a franchise quarterback or whatever title you want to give it. He can just be a game manager. That's what it takes, because he can make those throws. He can make plays and scramble out and extend plays. He can do all that. And, I just don't he doesn't have to be that number one guy. I think Aaron Rodgers would wish he was a number one guy either, because everybody just relies solely on him making something happen when everything else is breaking down all around him. Eventually your luck runs out when the other 10 guys aren't pulling their weight. Then you get exposed. And I like the fact that Winston, even in the rain game, I like the fact that Winston is now taking what's given to him. You're not forcing throws and stuff like that, and this is what he should have always been doing. If stuff's not there, take off, take the sack, throw the ball away, or whatever it is. I mean, everybody else who's not contributing is going to get exposed when you're not trying to force balls and making everything say it was your bad decision. You're getting to see that it's really what everybody said from the beginning wasn't all his fault. So, and everybody, I know it's a mixed feeling with everybody. They want to say, "Oh, he's taking these sacks and throwing it away, and his numbers are his accuracy." Well, this game is like five or six drops in this game, so definitely the numbers and the completion rate would have went up if they would have caught that. Mainly because one of the ones I mentioned earlier with Chris Godwin is a touchdown. Chris Godwin catches that, but it is he's crying over spilt milk. It happened. He missed the pass. It happens in the game. But in that game, I think it was bad calling in the rain. We didn't run the ball enough, and we got exposed, with the run again, beating us down over time, over and over and over. And that's just what comes with the territory when you play a running team like that. Let's go to some of the comments before I go to the next thing. I agree. He just needs to come fresh next year and he'll be a beast. I think you're talking about Winston, right? All right, yeah. Ryan and Chris Richard, next head coach for the season. Hey, who knows? Vita was a good pick. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute here, Dean. That's why I didn't go into it. Yep, Sports Web, check him out. I want to see those moves in the draft. Sorry, hold on. I want to see those moves in the draft this year. I know we're sitting on the 10th pick right now. Let's move up. Let's be gamblers here and sneak in some good picks. There's no such thing as a good pick if you don't use it accordingly. I've seen too many great picks come later in the draft, so I know everybody's so keen to want to be at the top pick. A lot of teams don't want that pick. They'd rather move down and collect more picks. And really, it's all how you use the player, man. I've seen too many great players. Look at Antonio Brown, 4th round pick or something like that, and didn't even start the first season. It's all what you get out of the players. And once we learn that and stop thinking that it just takes the one guy at the top of the first round is going to change this franchise around, we're never going to be anybody. And like I said in my post on Facebook a little yesterday, I really don't blame people for trying to blame Winston for everything. Your franchise has let you down. So he's your punching bag. He's the thing you want to blame the most. And really, it is a total organizational failure. And they have let people down, let fans down over these past 10 years by not trying to fix things. It's just sad what happened. But let me get to the topic. Vita Vea dominating the line of scrimmage. Yeah, Duffner. I watched the interview with Duffner, and he's saying Vita Vea, he's in mid-season form right now, and he's coming in so late because he missed the games earlier due to the calf injury, which I'm glad he was able to play. It would have sucked if he actually missed the season because of it. Vea is now playing well. You not have to think so much and remember the playbook and stuff like that, so you can actually just go out and play. And what I saw against the Colts, a lot of their defense interior linemen dominated their guards with Zach Martin being out, and I think Vita Vea and McCoy will do the same. And it should help everybody else. Then Carl Nassib has another big game. If he can buckle down and make the sacks on Dak Prescott trying to scramble and get away, you're going to get a heavy dose of Zeke. So the defensive lineman and linebacker is going to have to stay in their gaps this game and make those tackles, because the Dallas Cowboys are going to pound the ball again, especially once they watch the Ravens game. They're going to pound the ball a lot. So we have to stay disciplined and stay in our gaps and create pressure in the backfield and let the linebackers come up and make those tackles. I expect a lot of big game out of McCoy, not just in the sack purposes, but just creating a lot of havoc in the backfield. And hopefully somebody else can reap the benefits of them getting that much pressure and crumbling the pocket against them in Dallas. But like I said, a lot of people have mixed feelings about Vita. I think Vita was the right pick at that time. We had the worst pass rush in the league. Couldn't stop a nosebleed. Now look at us. Vita Vea came back, and I think it was around the point when he started playing, our pressure went up, because now you can sub out McCoy and you don't miss anything in the middle. When Vea comes in, and he can rotate in and do the same thing, demand double teams, hold the ground, hold the line of scrimmage. That's pretty much what you're supposed to do in a double team. If you can't beat it, you hold the line of scrimmage, you don't give up ground and move into the lanes of the linebackers making tackles. And that's one less blocker that's on the linebacker. They can clean up and make tackles. Like I said, Levante David making 12 tackles a game and 9 tackles in the game, making those plays in the backfield because he's able to run free because of the interior alignment taking up blocks. And like I said, in groups, a lot of people get upset, and talk about Vea and all this crap. Like I said, that's things in the game that people don't understand. They're stat watchers, and the interior alignment's stats don't show up like that, what they're doing. So you can make the play without making the tackle, pretty much. And a lot of people don't understand that. It's a result based, and that's pretty much the base of their investigation or their train of thought. So I can't change that, and I'm not going to try to teach them that. But I'll teach you guys if we want to talk about it. Juan says, I believe Dirk is a good coach. I feel for the guy. I don't believe he was ready to be a head coach in the NFL. Yet, too many bad decisions on his part. If he is fired, he will probably be snatched up as OT quick. But that's me just saying I think there was too much for him to handle. I agree, Juan. I'm going to get to that later. That's why I'm dancing around the topic, because I've got something else about that in a minute. Winston needs to look for Evans more. Every time he throws to him, it's a huge game, but a lot of times he doesn't even look at him. That's not all Winston. Again, you can't just blame one man for the situation. You got to blame who's making the calls. You can only do what your coach tells you to do. You do your job, and that's what I like that he's doing. He's not trying to do more than that. He's doing his job. And let everybody else that's making bad decisions, and let them take the heat for it, because they're the ones making decisions. That's not always on him. That's whatever the doctor dials up and wants to, where they want to go with the ball. That's on them. All right. Famous topic. No Bucs in the Pro Bowl. Let me tell you a funny story. I went to an investors meeting 2 years, like when Lovie Smith got here. I went to an investors meeting down there at Raymond James. I was there with all the wealthiest people who donate money to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And there's 2 things that happened that day. 3 things that happened that day. And one, I learned a whole lot of people in that room that have that money don't really know too much about football. And the Glazers are listening to them. It explains why a lot of craziness happens with this team. 2, I got to meet, Lovie Smith that day. And I'm sad that he left in 2 years. I think he was putting us on the right path. Players responded to him. And it's sad that we had to get rid of him because we were scared that the Eagles were going to snatch up Dirk Cutter. Bet you the Eagles are happy that didn't happen. And the third thing was I got to meet Levante David for the first time. And I think the first thing I said to him was, it's a crime that you won't ever get voted to the Pro Bowl. And he said thank you. And he kind of was wondering why. Because 2 things. One is that the outside linebacker position gets dominated by pass rushers. That are slated as linebackers, but they're basically defensive linemen pass rushing. And 2, you play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, I mean, it's voted in by fans. So it's sad that no player on this team made it in. Mike Evans breaking all types of records, even though it's a Tampa record, not really an NFL record. Gerald McCoy, JPP. It's whatever. There's a lot of other good players that did not make the Pro Bowl too. So it's not something we should be, too surprised. And like I told you at the beginning of the year, I'm not looking for handouts anymore. That we had a piss poor season. I'm just looking for any type of handout given to me. So it's just I want this team to win, and I understand what parts is a player and what parts is a coach. And a lot of this season was on poor coaching. But what is what it is. We come back next year stronger, use it as motivation why we didn't make the Pro Bowl, and go forward from that. And hopefully we can get the fans involved and stuff like that. So, and we can move forward. 2019 offseason can fix Bucs leaky ship. Yeah, it definitely can. And I'm saying because we can fix the offensive line. I think we should do that in pre-agency. You got some pass rushers coming out. You can get more depth at the defensive line position. I really ain't been too impressed with Bo Allen this year. So if that's a spot they want to make a trade for. Like I know a lot of people don't want Ramsey and they don't want Hunt. But my biggest fears is that we're going to end up playing against them in this division. Because you know why? Let me tell you why. The teams in our division aren't scared to make rash decisions to win. And I'm going to touch on Peter Blake's what he said a while. He said there's certain organizations that aren't scared to make moves to win. They won't accept the losing culture, and they'll do what it takes to win. And and sometimes you're gonna make a bad decision and stuff like that. And Jason Light will take a chance. With him drafting Robert Aguayo and stuff like that. And I'm not mad at that. You're actually trying to make this team better. You're not recycling kickers and praying for the best, expecting the worst, hoping for the best. You actually tried. Nobody knew that he was gonna have a mental breakdown and just can't be able to kick at all anymore. Nobody saw that coming. So I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it happened. Yeah, we can gloat on and on about the guys we miss. But you got to remember, he tried to address one of the serious issues with this team, and that's still a serious issue with this team is kicking. And I don't know when that's going to end because it looks like it's going to continue, see how Santos finishes. We'll get into that. That's why I'm not touching the coaches stuff. I got it up. Different. Johnny Dean says different look. Bucs 19. Heard there may be a jersey change. These city marketers for the Bucs, they change marketing names and slogans more just as bad as we change head coaches. We're used to being consistent at being inconsistent, and that's why people so big on just firing everybody and bringing in new people. Yeah, we had a meltdown this season, and like I said, basically because it was the head coaching decision. There was no structural plan. Like I said, I'm gonna get into that, but our O-line would help. Darvin Smith, if he's coming back as a guard. You are not a tackle anymore, not for this team. You need to get some type of stability over there. Tackle if it's Tyler Lewan or whoever they want to draft. Pay them that money on that offensive line. I'm never complaining about offensive linemen getting paid or defensive linemen because that's how you win in this league up front. Jason Pierre-Paul said that himself. That's why I like listening to him. The man knows what he's talking about. You win the game up front. All that other stuff is bells and whistles and stuff like that. Having a quarterback and all that's important too. One of the most important positions on this field. And pretty much everything else is interchangeable. That can change within years and find replacements to fit it. You just get guys who fit the mold, the offense or the defense that you're trying to run. Don't make an apple orange. Next season at London, Bucs versus who? Not sure. It's whoever's on that schedule at that time. Johnny Dean says O-line help and defense. Yep. JPP and Mike Evans should be in the Pro Bowl. No doubt, but like again, there's a lot of people who didn't make the Pro Bowls. Alvin Kamara, I believe, didn't make the Pro Bowl. I agree, not blaming Winston. I'm just saying he needs to look for him more, not bashing Winston. Winston, there's a guy. Oh, you're cool if you even were bad and bashing Winston. Edgardo, I mean, it's your choice, and you definitely wouldn't be the only one that does that. But like I said, I think he's just a punching bag of a lot of other people's bad decisions, and he's just the forefront and takes it to the chin most of the times. Corey says Bucs free agent target list Patrick Peterson. Not sure if he's a free agent. Round 1 quarterback, round 2 free safety, round 3 DB. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. And then you say round 5 pass rush. You realize in the 5th round nobody's going to be there. Round 6 guard, taking a chance. Round 7 guard. And, all those people aren't going to play. There's only 5 linemen on the field. You have to take that in consideration, too. You can draft all things. They all can't play at one time. Sherwood Colton says, so what do we need to change up? Pertaining to what? Sherwood. Juan says, yeah, no Bucs in the Pro Bowl, but I especially feel for Levante Davis, such as an outstanding player. Always give it his all. He's a class act, never says much, but if anybody deserves it, it's him. A beast on the field. Yep. Bucs target Mac in the offseason. I hope you ain't talking about Khalil Mack because that's not going to happen. Bears wouldn't do the same thing the Raiders did. My favorite part. Bucs' biggest mistake. Oh, offense and dig. Yep. I said Bucs' biggest mistake in 2018. Their biggest mistake in 2018 was, and this coach, you can credit your head coach indecisive decision making and scared and caves into what everybody else is saying. Was benching Jameis Winston for Ryan Fitzpatrick instead of letting Winston finish the season out and see how he finished out, and then you move on at the end of the season or you keep him. Instead, you bring Winston back with 5 games left, and he's played fairly decent, played fairly well. A lot of the team, there's a lot of situations with the team and other intangibles have held him back in games with penalties and poor play and bad decision making. I'm not talking about Winston. I'm talking about other people that's held him back. And like I said before, he's pretty much the punching bag of all that because everybody else doesn't get that limelight like that. But I think they missed out there by doing that, and they left us in a situation not knowing, are we trying to move on from him or not? With 5 games left, trying to figure out if you're trying to keep him for another year, which I think they are. There's no quarterback in the draft I think that's going to come in better than him. That's what I mean personally. I've seen like I said, these young QBs, you have this guy here already with continuity with this team. You just have to fix a couple pieces. A lot of the disconnect why we couldn't get the ball to Deshaun Jackson is because we don't have enough time to set your feet and throw deep to Deshaun Jackson when there's coverage there, because he'll outrun coverage, but you have to give it a little time for him to outrun coverage. We're not getting the 3 seconds we need, more than 3 seconds to get the ball deep to him. Because remember, the fastest people don't run to 40 yards in 40 seconds. And that's Deshaun Jackson is no exception, but once he gets there, he can beat whoever's in front of him in a foot race. So, but that's the biggest mistake to me that Tampa Bay Buccaneers made this year. All right, the part that everybody keeps wanting to talk about: who should stay and who should go. I'm gonna check out some of these comments before you guys are typing up. We'll go after Bell. It's going to be costly. And do you honestly believe a running game might change up the game, but it depends on who's at the head coaching position to see what kind of players they want to call. So what do we need to change up? I see what you mean. To my offense or defense. don't necessarily need to have a whole roster overall. I've seen this before, Sherwood. You bring in a coach that actually knows how to play people and has decent game plans in game. You don't really need to even change personnel sometimes. I've seen that before. The guy will walk right in and just change a couple people and things change. Like Andy Reid in Kansas City, he came in and added his flavor, and that whole roster and culture turned around with him coming there. It's just amazing how that works when you got somebody in there that knows what they're doing and has a plan. Crazy how that works. But yeah, I think I said I'll give you guys. Oh, Jackson should go. Yeah, too much money. Don't have an offense that will utilize him, so we'll see who comes in here head coach and what's going to go on. I don't believe Jason Light should be fired. It's rough for me to even say that Dirk Cutter should be fired on the sake of continuity, because I'm really tired of all these coaches leaving and all these players have to deal with another head coach, another trying the culture change, and the fans got to deal with it. It's just a repeat process. And like I said before, I don't blame fans for getting mad at Winston. Like I told you, I said the organization as a whole failed you. They let you down. And like I said, Winston's just the prodigy of it. Not just with the pick, just with everything running the organization. They made a lot of bad choices. What was I talking about? Yeah, Light should stay. Dirk Cutter. If you're gonna get rid of Cutter, it's got to be an upgrade. Otherwise than that, you're wasting your time. And like he's a good offensive coordinator, and I think what Juan was saying earlier, he's not a head coach in the NFL. This isn't college football. You're dealing with grown men. There's a lot more intangibles than just focusing in on the offense. You have to learn how to rally players. You have to say stuff to motivate players to get the best out of them. Great coaches find ways for players to be successful in their system. And great coaches make bad players average players good players great, and great players are superstars by their ability to coach and motivate their team and have their team believe in them. The only time I see Cutter show up is after a big win and he's rallying with the players. Now, when you're in a loss, you have to do the same exact thing to get people that want to come back and not have that bad feeling again. So, that's where I think he's not good at doing. He stares at the play sheet too much, and he's not focusing in on what his players are going on and like getting them ready for the future and stuff like that. And I understand a head coach has a lot of responsibility, but that's why you pay assistants to do certain things for you and stuff like that. You delegate certain responsibilities so you can focus on the whole as a whole. And yeah, Juan is right. He will get another job somewhere. That's why he wanted to call the plays. And when he said it was personal reasons, he wants to take credit for the number one offense. So when he's fired from here, he can get another OC job somewhere else. 93 got to go ASAP. That's part of the conversation. I was saying earlier, Chris, that I'll say this first. I don't know if you're a stat guy, but people don't want to go to stats when it doesn't work in their favor. There's only 4 other defensive tackles that are, I think 3 or 4 other defensive tackles that are ahead of Gerald McCoy in sacks. And with that being said, defensive tackles aren't made to get sacks. Gerald McCoy has more sacks than Ndamukong Suh, and Ndamukong Suh plays for the Rams. With all types of talent on that roster, he should have double-digit sacks at least on that defensive line. The Rams do not have more sacks than us, with 5 and 6 first-round picks on that defensive line, and including Aaron Donald. Stats with a defensive tackle aren't shown up on a sheet. They're not made to get 100 tackles. They're not made to get 100 sacks. If it happens, it presents itself. Even Warren Sapp tried to get the sack record. He knew that couldn't happen. But God bless his heart, he tried, and the boy was a beast. But that system's not made for defensive tackles to make sacks, not in the 4-3. They're to eat up blocks and free up the linebackers. That's why Levante and Quan can come through and make 10 tackles again, because that's what they're supposed to do. Then on their defensive line is getting taking up blocks so they can run free. I love McCoy. He got to go though. I mean, it's your opinion. GM, head coach, Conti, Jackson, Grimes should go. I don't think the GM should go, but I agree with all the rest of it. Trade Jackson for something. Duffner to get another shot. That's going to be up to the next coaching regime and coaching regime, if they want to keep him or not. And with 9 times out of 10, it won't. Oh yeah, I'm not disagreeing. Duffner helped a lot, but that's really not going to be up to me. That's going to be up if they want to keep him around or not. And Duffner said himself, it's been a long time since he's been the head honcho in a position like that, calling the shots. And I think he's done a good job. He says a lot of key things that I like to hear. Use players what they're good at, what their strengths are, and you try to run it accordingly. And that's why you're getting good plays out of Andrew Adams and stuff like that. It's that simple. Sean Drippin' Buck Brown says, okay, but where's the impact at with McCoy? And I have a question for you. How much tape do you actually watch, if you watch any? Don't tell me you do. And I'm talking about ESPN, because a lot of people don't. But if you want to talk about McCoy personally, I think Warren Sapp has already shown that when McCoy was injured and you had Bo Allen in the game when we played the Falcons. When he said you got movement on the 3, Bo Allen got easily escorted out of the picture and one-on-one, and they ran right up the gap. And Pierre Paul over pursued, and they scored a touchdown. McCoy, like I said, I don't know what kind of stats you're looking at when you say impact in the game. Like I said, defensive tackles, his job is to close the pocket, clog up their gap, win their one-on-ones when you get a chance, or if you do get a chance, because sometimes a lot of it's in max protect, and you're not going to get pressure back there unless somebody just totally blows an assignment. But as a whole, this whole unit has gotten better, and I don't think it gets better if you unplug McCoy from that. If you're talking about defense, everybody keeps talking about defense getting better. The defense won't get better getting rid of Gerald McCoy, let alone that he's been a class act here in this community for years and years. And I think if you guys hate McCoy that much, and for a guy that's done so much in this community, then I don't see what the problem is bringing Jalen Ramsey here then, because clearly somebody of that blue chip caliber isn't enough for people here in Tampa Bay. So you might as well just bring in somebody like a Jalen Ramsey who's going to make a lot of plays but doesn't really care about anybody but himself. We've already done that before with Deshaun Jackson. So, I mean, a lot of people feel fine with that. If that's what you want to do, then that's fine. But as I said before, a defensive tackle stat isn't always showed up by numbers. Luckily, McCoy is one of the only other 4 defensive tackles that have stats in their favor. And then people try to break him down. He has no impact in the fourth quarter, et cetera, et cetera. I think Gerald McCoy has made a lot of great plays, give and take with the defensive coordinators he's had, and the lack of consistency of help that he's had since his entire career here. This is the best year that he's had with help. It's coming from another veteran, Jason Pierre-Paul, Vita, the addition of Carl Nassib. I mean, it's a shame that, we're going to come to the season and this defensive line is playing like a band of brothers, and they're playing very well. And I think that comes from a lot of leadership. That's fine. No, I'm not, like I said, it's your opinion. I'm not mad at you for that, Sean. I'm just speaking as broad as a lot of people talk about that. So it is what it is. I don't think we get better getting rid of McCoy. Let me scroll through some of you guys' comments. Defense is okay. O-line needs to be strength. Yeah, your defensive line and offensive line should be the strongest points of your team because that's where the game starts and will end if it is not right. At least Donald creates room for Sue, but who creates that opening for McCoy? Well, I mean, if you want to say that, Sean, I mean, Donald, I mean, just Donald's going to get pressure regardless. He's a great defensive tackle. And I was a fan of him before everybody else knew about him at Pittsburgh. You got to remember Donald's always had help. Yeah, Chris Long, who's had double-digit sacks. They had Robert Ayers. They had Malcolm Brockers. They knew where you went at with the defensive line. The Rams have always had a decent defensive line, and they got better with the addition of Dante Fowler, the Ndamukong Suh, still Malcolm Brockers. There's people all over. There's 5 first-round picks on that defensive line, but yet the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have more team sacks than them with all that on there. So they got more and doing less than us. So, yeah. All right. Keys to victory versus the Cowboys and film study. So we're going to go through some plays here as we always do. I know you guys all know some of you guys love it when I go through tape. Some of you guys don't. Keys to victory are going to be stopping that run. Jason Garrett and the Cowboys are going to pound the hell out of us with that run. Just especially after watching the Baltimore game, they're going to try to ground and pound us. So later on in the game, those little 2-yard gains become 6-yard gains or touchdowns because we're getting beat up. Offense is going to have to sustain longer drives, keep the defense off the field. As you keep them on that field with all them runs, Ezekiel Elliott's going to run for 200 yards. Well, let's go to the tape. Let's check it out. Check it out, y'all. Sorry, doing Darth Vader in the mic. We're just going to check out a few drives here. Cowboys go double tight end set and send the H back in motion. I'm thinking wham play up the middle here. Yep. And you're going to get a lot of dose of that. Same thing, send the man across. Now you got double tight end set and then just send the trap back the other way. You got tight ends at the top. Just drag route. That's good coverage by 53. He could have jumped that if he did not stare at the quarterback a little too long. He could have made that pick. So he let up a little bit. Everything's tight here. This looks like a run as everything's tight. Yep, draw. Cowboys going to do a lot of this stuff, send it in motion, try to get people out the way, and then run this draw right down the pipes. A lot of influence of what they're trying to run here. H-back down here at the bottom. No, that's not H-back. That's a tackle. Cole Beasley coming in motion. Safety sitting over top. Looks like cover 3. No, not on this one. A lot of pressure on Dak. And that's going to be us getting pressure on him. Especially if the interior linemen get a lot of push. He's going to check that ball down. So them backers and the DBs on the outside are going to have to come up and cover Ezekiel Elliott quick out the backfield because Dak's going to look for him to dump it down. And we can't give him no outlet pass. And Dallas's offense is just a slow, methodical offense here. Let's try to ground and pound you here. Again, they're playing coverage over top. They're going to keep running this ball. Anytime you see them safety high, you got to run the ball, man, in this league because you have no safeties in the box. So you're basically relying on that 7. And in this case, 6 in the box. They sent the corner on that play. They're going to run the hell out of this ball until them safeties come out of there. Safety's still sitting high. I think they'll call another run. Yes, they will. Look at that. They're busting those runs now. Safeties coming up to make the tackle 10 yards down the field. That's fine because you're too late to come up to help. And that's the effects of what Amari Cooper does. You know, Deshaun Jackson does the same thing too. It's just we can't run the ball because we can't create these running lanes like this. First and 10 on 36. Dallas driving. You got empty backfield. Dak's going to call an audible. I think they go man underneath and the safety stay over top. So what I think was going to happen right here. Yep, they're in man. Dak found weakness in the defense. You had number 11 wide receiver matched up on a 53 a linebacker. He shaded inside, so that's an easy call to call out route. As the receiver already has leverage. And again, tight formation here. The splits are tight. They actually came out of that too high safety. But Dallas still runs the ball. Extra body down in the box. Now you can stuff the run. I expect Jason Garrett to call a pass play here next play. Third and 4. The Colts go back with safeties deep over the top. If I'm him, I'm going somewhere up here. If this is Amari Cooper, I'm going up here. Oh, that's where he goes and beats him. But it's a bad throw. That's the matchup you wanted. The safety's not there. He's one-on-one with the corner. That's the right throw. And that's it. I'm just going to show you this last time. Yep, it's a bad throw because the receiver has a DB beat. But that's what we're going to expect when we play Dallas. It's going to be heavy run game. We got to stop that. The guys got to come up and make those plays. John Drippin stopped the run game. DBs need to defend the wide receivers, protect Winston, have a run game, and go deep against the third quarterbacks. They're gonna play us tonight and let us beat them deep. So they're gonna rely on DeMarcus Ware and them to get pass rush, which shouldn't be too hard with this offensive line. And they're gonna try to force Winston to throw some stuff in the tight windows. Hopefully Winston can call himself some check downs to Jacquizz Rodgers, whoever the back is in. The back that's in. Oh, excuse me, guys. With the back that's in right now, that whoever is in, gonna call them check downs. and scramble a lot. It's going to be tough for him because they got a little deep pass rush and some decent linebackers. So he's going to have his hands full here. If Barber can run on this team, I think Barber can run on any D in the league because they got some pretty beef up there in the front seven. Have anything else? I appreciate you guys coming here on Thursday again. Make sure you subscribe to the website at www.BucnBlakeSports.com. Check out the website, sign up. Win prizes just for sign up to the website. Free, doesn't cost you anything. I'll accept you once you join. Once you sign up and create your profile on my website, and you'll start getting free stuff once you do the drawings at the last week of every month. Christmas, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it this week with that holidays going on and all that, but January we should kick back up. And continue to support your team, and hopefully the Bucs make the right decisions to get these fans back in the game and get us loving this team that we once loved back in the early 2000s and stuff like that. And I think it just comes with the right decisions and just finding the image that you want to do, or find the image that you want to be, and then sticking to your guns, just like Malcolm Glazer did. And, he sought value, and Tony Dungy, and that was the right guy to pick, and he ultimately built this team from scratch. And Gruden helped out with the offensive part of it, but a lot of it, Tony Dungy built this team by picking the right players that fit his system. Gruden's not good at team building. That's not his strength, but he is good at calling plays and being great football mind and finding weaknesses and stuff like that. But Gruden's finding out the hard way that it's a lot harder to build a team from scratch, unlike what Dungy did with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as he's trying to do with the Raiders. So it's interesting to see how they go. Yeah, thanks, Sean. You too. Yeah. Now make sure you check out Mike Clayton show. Listen up, and the Twitter Gangsters. Make sure to look for the new all-female cast. 4 ladies in a football. It should be real fun with all the ladies doing it for once. Talking sports, and it should be pretty cool. I got some real energetic ladies that are going to be joining that team. And I think it'll be something special. We'll end this as we always do. You're the master of everything. What you do with your life, what you do with it is entirely up to you. Thank you guys. God bless, and fire those cannons. Anyway, happy holidays. Yeah, you too, Sean. Thanks for coming, bringing the funk, giving us something to think about.